7. And yeah, looks like it's just me and Calvin today. So we're going to run through all these games real quick and answer any questions for anybody that pops up.
Probably a
But
short and sweet session.
yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, yeah,
But
nothing too crazy. Go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
So which game you want to start off with?
I mean,
Can't talk about my Texans because they got bye week today, which is okay.
yeah, which makes me feel bad because we can talk about my Packers and I don't really want to. Let's start. Falcons Buccaneers thoughts.
Falcons, Buccaneers. I think I really want to probably start Drake London as much as I hate saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like the weirdest up and down thing with him recently. Like 2 weeks ago, he was trash, and then,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I should say 3 weeks ago, has 2 good weeks, and then obviously last week blows up, and now he looks like he's wide receiver number one again. Also,
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts looks like he's a start as well, which
Mm-hmm.
I never thought we'd have a world where we said Kyle Pitts and Drake London were both a start with Desmond Ridder at quarterback, but yeah, I think basically everybody on that Falcons offense, I mean, depending on how deep your league is, could be starting. Honestly,
Yeah.
Mac Hollins at some points.
Do you start Desmond Ritter?
And a super flex, sure. Anywhere besides that, probably not. Unless I need like a cheap FanDuel
Yeah.
like apply. But I mean, even then against a Buccaneers defense that has some nasty middle linebackers, I don't know if I want to.
Obviously, you start Bijan. Anybody who says otherwise is dumb. On the other side of the ball with the Bucks, you start Rashad White today.
The Falcons have actually a really good defense. But Rashad White does have like the highest usage in the NFL, so just purely based on how he's used, I'm going to start him. But I don't know if it's. It might be time to hop off the Rashad White train in terms of like him being a talented running back. So I will start him, but I'm not going to be expecting anything crazy.
I just traded for him, so I need something crazy. But that's because of injuries.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
and then you start Baker because I definitely don't start Baker.
Against the Falcons defense, like I said, and unless it's a super flex, then every quarterback's basically used except for maybe two or three of them. But I'd probably shy away. I mean, there's better options this week, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm staying away from Baker. Um,
Start Mike Evans clearly.
obviously, and then Chris Godwin's kind of up in the air because we don't really know what we get from him from a week to week basis. So,
Yeah,
probably shy away from that one unless you actually need a flex play.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I guess that's basically it over there on both of those sides.
Raiders Bears. What's the next
Raiders,
one on that?
Bears. Not gonna lie, man, I'm gonna start Jacoby Myers.
I don't blame you.
I don't care what his quarterback situation is. I had this conversation with one of my friends the other day. He said something about Jacoby Myers, and I said no, he still put up numbers with that idiot throwing to him the other day. So I'm gonna start Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby's a dog. He always has been. He has been very underrated fantasy wise for a long time. Um, where are you at with Michael Mayer? That's the question I want to know.
I'm not looking to start him.
I
Honestly,
mean,
like, I think it's too iffy.
I don't blame you. I think he's still a very up in the air kind of player in terms of like his fantasy value, especially when you have a rounding carousel of quarterbacks. Figuring out what's going on there. His target rate has increased a lot in the last two games. I mean, from 3 targets against Green Bay and then 6 last week against New England, 2 in the red zone. Still has yet to catch a touchdown. But, I mean, if it keeps increasing like this, we could see him sneak into top 5 tight end numbers very, very easily.
Mhm.
Especially because of the lack of production at that position so far this year. So, not necessarily something that we need to play this week, but definitely keep your eye on it. And if he's on the waiver wire, it's not a bad idea to pick him up if he keeps getting these looks. On the flip side, the Bears. Are you playing DJ Moore without Justin Fields?
Uh, I think at this point you kind of have to, but I
Sure.
don't know if I'm gonna feel happy about it.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I'm not as happy, obviously, without Justin Fields being there. But
Yeah.
Tyson Bagent,
Hmm.
something like that. If you're in a daily fantasy league, he might be worth the pickup just because you never know what he's actually going to do. He's probably going for super cheap right now, probably towards the bottom of the barrel in every single fantasy league. So every single daily fantasy league. So if you need a quarterback, might be the one to look for. Other than that, I'm probably staying away from this game, honestly.
Yeah, I don't trust either of the. I mean, I'm gonna play Josh Jacobs, but I don't trust the running situation over there for either way
Fair,
too much.
absolutely.
You start Devonta Adams?
You have to. I mean, you just have to. I mean, I don't have to feel excited about it, but you definitely have to.
No doubt.
Especially because if they're gonna trade him, he's gonna blow up because they want to. They want to eventually get something for him, and the better he plays, the more they're probably gonna get. So, I play Tay. I don't worry about his situation, honestly.
Yeah.
Browns Colts.
Browns Colts. Oh boy, this is a stupid situation. How do I not play anybody? Fuck.
Very well doable, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
mean,
So I don't want to play Amari Cooper with Deshaun not there, but the way it's looking right now, Deshaun might play. But then at the same time, Kareem Hunt might not play. So there's too much iffy going on over there for that.
yeah, and on the flip side too, you lose Anthony Richardson for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Gardner Minshew's the guy now.
Yep.
Michael Pittman Jr. Where does his fantasy value kind of
Hey,
sit now?
I can't lie, man. Gardner Minshew can get him the ball.
He's a slinger, man.
Yep.
He is a slinger. I think his, like you said, he can get him the ball. I think his production doesn't really change. I mean, he was, I think fifth or sixth through 4 weeks of the season. I mean, he had a couple bad weeks, but that's because they didn't really know what they were getting out of the quarterback position. Anthony Richardson was concussed, and then he wasn't concussed, and then Gardner Minshew was back in.
Yeah.
I think Michael Pittman Jr. is actually somebody you should go look to get now, especially with Gardner at quarterback, because they're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more. But now, I mean, this opens up the running game for Jonathan Taylor, too. We have a chance to see him go back to a top 5 running back, production-wise, depending on what that offensive line does. So the Colts are a very, very interesting situation to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
But I agree on the Browns side of the ball. It's tough, man. You could play Two-Face if you want to. But that's really the only other option. Start Addison this week. Luca, you're a Vikings fan. You just start Addison every week until JJ gets back. Start him every week, okay? Every week.
Even then, you might start him after that if you don't have JJ.
True. Even against the Niners, starting Addison. He's a dog, Luca. I'm upset that you guys got him. I wanted him in green and gold. He's a dog, all right? Glad we got that out of the way. Commanders, Giants. Caleb.
Oh boy, Commanders. I'm gonna start Brian Robinson because, as I've said, he hasn't really given me a reason not to. He's still producing, even if it's not great.
It's funny that you say that because in terms of rushing value, if you put him and Bijan Robinson beside each other, in only rushing statistics, Bijan Robinson has 5 more fantasy points than him in half PPR leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the receiving obviously is where
kills him, full PPR. Yeah,
that's a little more, crazy. But
yeah.
Let's continue.
Yeah, and then there's no way that I'm gonna start Dotson, man. Like I can't do it.
He is the definition of an up and down.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna get from him. I think you have to at this point, and as much as like people don't want to, Scary Terry has to be a start.
Yeah.
He has to. Like he just gets so many targets.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Sam Howell actually looks like a decent quarterback at times. So
do you start Sam Howell? That was what I was gonna ask.
Against the Giants, I might. Dude, I might just because of the sheer amount of points they give up.
Yeah.
And obviously last week, they held the Bills to 14, but before that, their best game in terms of like holding people to a low total was 24 against the Seahawks, who don't have an explosive offense by any means. And then after that, it's 30-point games for everybody. So, I'm starting Sam Howell, especially if I don't have one of the big 5.
Yeah.
Especially if I don't have one of the big 5.
Yeah.
Where you at with Saquon?
I think you have to start Saquon, but I'm not happy about it. If I had
Hmm.
Saquon, I'd be looking to move him
100%.
because he
100%.
said, yeah, he said that he wants to stay a Giant and he doesn't want to get traded or anything, and I don't want that to happen.
Giants blitz package too good. Don't start Howell. I mean, Zach, the points don't lie. Like, they're giving up 30 a game essentially. I'm starting him because of what statistics are telling me.
Statistics aren't everything, though.
This is true, but if I slap you in the face 5 times and I tell you I'm gonna slap you in the face again, you should believe
You're
I'm
not
gonna
going to
slap
be
you in
able
the
to slap
face.
me in the face first.
Okay.
So,
Lions Ravens.
Lions, Ravens, Lions. If Jameer Gibbs is playing, then that's who you're starting today with Monty out. And then you're going to start Amon Ra, and you're going to start Jared Goff if you have him. Do you start Jameson Williams?
If I'm in a 14-man league, probably. If I'm in a position where I have 2 deep flexes and I have, let's say, somebody like Mac Hollins is the guy I have in my starting lineup currently, then I'd probably put Jameson Williams in there just for a boom potential. But that's the way I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of a ballsy fantasy player
If
when
he
it comes to
plays
terms like that.
today, you're starting Sam Laporta for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
You just
Tight
gotta
end 2 right
see
now, I
what's
believe,
going on
numbers
with it.
wise.
Something like that. We got to see what's up with his calf. Oh, looks like he's not questionable anymore. So Sam
He,
Laporta's a play.
he is a good to go. So, yeah, playing Sam Laporta, 100%, without
Yep.
question. What about the Ravens side of the ball? Where are you at with literally this entire offense? I mean,
I, fuck,
Lamar,
I
obviously.
fucking guess if I have Lamar, I'm gonna play him. And Mark Andrews,
Yep,
and I
that's it.
guess Zay Flowers too.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't. If you have Gus Edwards, and like Zach says, that's your dumb fault for having him as your running back one.
True.
That's what you got to do. But I don't want to play him because Justice Hill just takes too much from him.
Yep, 100%. They share that backfield, and it's just not a good look over there. Um, on top of that, like OBJ hasn't been really productive. There's no other real threats on that team that they have sold me on so far.
Yeah,
So I'm staying away from pretty much everybody except for the big 3 that you named there. Gus Edwards, if you have him, I mean you can hold him until he has a good game and then trade him away if you want to, but that's completely up to you.
yeah. It's
Uh, yeah, it's a bad situation. Bad situation. Bills Patriots.
Bills. Fuck. You got to start Josh Allen. You got to start Stephon Diggs. Do you start Gabe Davis?
Against the Patriots, this feels like a game where he should have a good game.
At this
And
point, I kind of feel like you have to keep starting him until something bad happens.
that's where I was going with it. I fucking hate Gabe Davis though. So
Yeah, so does everyone else.
yeah, so I will play him, but I won't be happy about it.
Do you start Dalton Kincaid or Dawson Knox?
Neither.
Solid.
I'm just not. I'm not in love with their tight ends, man. Like I thought Dalton Kincaid was going to be a dog. Turns out he's dog shit for some reason. So I'll stick with the 2 big wideouts and the running back, and then go from there.
Yeah, you start your boy James Cook.
Always. Always.
Okay.
Goal line work, baby. Josh Allen's being smarter. He's being smarter this year. He's not running the ball as much. Let's go, Joshy boy. I like that. If you look at his rushing rates, it's significantly down. But, I mean, he still does take off from time to time. What about Ramondre Stevenson? Where you at with him?
Oh, I'm gonna start Ramondre. Like, I drafted him high enough. I have to start him.
Sure.
So there's no other way around that. But
I just...
I feel like he could break free against the Bills.
He could if Bill decides to use him, but that's
Yeah.
always the big question with the Patriots is Bill going to use him? I'll play Ramondre. I'll probably play Hunter Henry because, I mean, I really think Hunter Henry is probably a top 10 tight end. Fantasy-wise, I mean, just look at his target shares, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. But Bill's defense is kind of nasty. Are you starting anybody from that quarterback carousel?
No, not at all. The
Hmm.
only other person I might start on that team for the Patriots would be maybe Kendrick Bourne or Devontae Parker, if I
Fair
had
enough. Fair enough. Yeah, if you had to, and usually we draft, but
to.
Cardinals Seahawks.
Cardinals. Shit, I don't want anybody on their running back situation right now.
Yeah.
James Conner being on IR, that just kind of fucks everything up. I'm gonna start Hollywood, and then if I have to, I guess I could start Dobbs.
Honestly, I think Dobbs is actually a sneaky good fucking fantasy play. Like I think he's actually
Yeah,
pretty good. Which is kind of crazy. Um,
Buda
they get
Baker's back now though,
yeah, he is.
so that's a pretty solid asset over there. As long as DK don't chase him down again.
Well, speaking of DK Metcalf and moving to the Seahawks side of the
Yeah,
ball, he might not play today
yeah, I know.
with hip and rib injuries, and they're going to let him decide in pregame. So if you have DK Metcalf in your starting lineup, keep an eye on that situation
Yep.
because that could fuck a lot of people over. That
Yeah.
being said, that
Yep.
means Tyler Lockett is a full play for me. And at this point, if you're not playing Kenneth Walker, you don't know how to play fantasy football, and you should be banned.
Do you start Gino?
I mean, I guess that's the tough question because I mean the Cardinals' defense, while it is a decent defense, they also give up a shit ton of points to anybody not named the Cowboys. I probably would, yes, depending on my. Like I said, if I don't have one of the big five, this is one of the people I look to start this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna start
Uh,
because I have to. But yeah.
yeah, if I have the embarrassment of riches of choosing between Gino and somebody else this week, I'm probably going with Gino.
Yeah.
All right, Steelers Rams.
Mm.
Yeah, real fantasy burner here.
Man, this sounds awful. So Steelers side, I don't want to play Najee, but if I have Najee, I guess I kind of have to.
Yeah,
But
especially because Jalen Warren is
I was
not
gonna say I'd
separating
rather play
himself.
Jalen Warren.
He's not really separating himself though, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and then Pickens is back, so I'm gonna play him.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else do you play?
That's probably it, man. That's probably all I feel comfortable with playing. Yeah, I mean I mean, I don't want to play Najee, but if you have him and your other option is like a James Conner, I'm playing Najee Harris, unfortunately. But other than that, I'm staying away from everybody else. I mean, Kenny Pickett's not a starter at quarterback unless you're in a super flex, because the Rams defense actually looks okay, somewhat. Gabe Davis or London for wide receiver 2. Elliot, it is Drake London, without question. And I could ask Caleb for his opinion, but me and him already kind of agreed on that this morning.
Yeah, I guess I would rather play Drake London. He's the wide receiver one over there. So
Yeah, that is the case. What about the Rams side of the ball? Kyron Williams out.
Oh fuck, Kyron Williams out. The Rams have like 4 new running backs.
Zach Evans is expected to get the lion's share of the carries.
Yeah, and then
Who the fuck is Zach Evans?
They got Henderson back, and they also picked up Myles Gaskin. So
boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I don't trust any of the running back committee over there this week.
No.
I'm not playing any running back.
But I will say,
play
go ahead.
Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua for sure.
Yep.
And then maybe Tutu if I have to.
I'm playing Tutu because the Steelers secondary might be the worst in the NFL, depending on who you ask. So I'll play all 3 of them, and I'll feel pretty comfortable about it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Chargers Chiefs, maybe the best game of the week.
Before that, do you play Stafford as a quarterback?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Till
he gives me a reason not to. He's been blowing up.
Yeah, no doubt.
Chargers Chiefs.
Chargers. Austin Eckler's back. Back.
He is back. He is back indeed. Zach
Zach
Evans or
says-
Dante Foreman?
Zach says that Zach Evans is keeping that spot. If he does, then bet.
Zach Evans or Dante Foreman in a 32-man league, kind of in panic mode right now. Okay, first off, 32-man teams are usually best ball, so you'd usually be okay either way. But if I had to pick between those two, we just said that we were staying away from that Rams committee. Deontay Foreman is the number one back in Chicago right now. So I'd probably go Deontay Foreman.
I just looked it up. I'm going to play Zach Evans because he's from Houston.
There's that.
And he went to Ole Miss, so.
I'm going Deontay Foreman. He's going Zach Evans. Either way, you're probably okay. 32-man league. I mean, you have an embarrassment of riches having both of those on your team. Javonte Williams or Romeo Doubs PPR?
I think I'm going to go Javonte Williams.
I think I'm going to go Romeo Doubs.
I don't trust any of the Packers receivers over there.
The Broncos gave up 70.
I know that, but I just feel Javonte Williams, if he can have a breakout game, it's going to be against the Packers today.
Evans' projection went down by 8, but then again,
Yep.
projections don't mean shit.
Exactly.
You nailed it. Yeah, projections really don't mean shit. Kind of got to look at the matchups here. The Raiders are ass when it comes to stopping basically anything except for Max Crosby getting after the quarterback. So I'm sticking with my Deontay Foreman take, but that's just me. Back to Romeo Doubs. He had 2 down weeks so far this year. I think he's Jordan Love's favorite target. I'm going to play Romeo Doubs, Terrell. Not to say that I don't think Javonte is going to do well, but I think McLaughlin over there actually does take a lot of fantasy production away from him. So I would probably go Romeo Doubs. Chargers Chiefs. Austin Eckler is back,
Yeah.
thankfully. Where are you at with Joshua Palmer?
I still think he's a safe play
Okay.
because, let's see, last week he didn't do shit until like the very end of the game, if I'm remembering well. Yeah, he still had 10 points. So as long as he's, a starter over there, Joshua Palmer is still going to get his numbers.
Okay.
And that's what
Like
you
that.
need in fantasy.
100%. Andrew, real quick, just to let you know, rookie Zach Evans is expected to back up Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson versus the Steelers today. So, you play Dante Foreman. Especially if he's third in the carries aspect. I wish we got more out of Gerald Everett. I really do. Keenan Allen's an obvious play as he's continuing a tear this year.
Play Justin
Chiefs.
Herbert.
Yeah, 100%. One of the big 5 right there. Speaking of another one of the big 5, Pat Mahomes is an obvious play. Where are you at with that wide receiver core? Is there anybody on that team that you want to play?
Rashee Rice and now maybe McCole Hardman.
Good.
McCole Hardman is probably going to be the number 1 on that wide receiving core now with, literally nobody over there to do shit. So
Isaiah Pacheco, though, huh?
Yeah.
An absolute dog, and he is continuing to be so. 16 carries in every single game for the last 4 weeks, except for in Chicago where he had 15. And he has had targets in every single week, over 3 targets for running back, which is pretty good. Except for against Minnesota where it was kind of a wrapped up game. Laporta or Robinson flex PPR. Bijan, I'm assuming? Because if it's Bijan, it's Bijan. That makes sense? Yeah, I think it did. Isaiah Pacheco is 100% a play today, though.
Travis Kelce's a play, obviously.
I'm playing Bijan. I'm playing Bijan over Laporta.
Yeah, I would go Bijan over Laporta.
That Ravens defense is actually pretty decent. I understand the Buccaneers have a good run D, but Bijan will still be able to affect him in the pass game, as he is a dynamic receiving back. Packers versus Broncos.
Uh, fuck.
Jordan Love is a must start. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Uh, I mean,
But
Aaron Jones is back, so if you have Aaron Jones, you obviously got to play him.
let's fucking hope he's back. I'm
He is. They already
praying.
said. They
No,
already
I
said that
know.
he's good.
I get he's back, but I hope he's back. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um. That being said, yeah, Aaron Jones is a must play.
And then
That's kind of breaking news.
what?
Patriots head coach Bill Belichick signed a lucrative multi-year deal to extend his contract this last offseason. Not fantasy related, but to let you know, that means I'm pretty sure they're going to tear the Patriots apart and rebuild. So,
Yikes. Yeah. I don't know. I guess you play Christian Watson if you haven't.
dude, do you? I mean, I guess it's against the Broncos. If ever a week.
Do you play Reed?
I think you have to play Romeo Dobbs and or Jaden Reed over Christian Watson, which is kind of crazy. Before the season, I would have never said that. But, like, target shares don't lie. Like, he loves throwing to them. He loves throwing at them. So, I mean, yeah, especially against a team that gave up 70. Yeah, at them. Against a team that gave up 70, I mean, not only to the Green Bay Packers.
Zach says he's playing Watson over DK.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, especially with DK being hurt.
I mean, I would probably go Watson over DK just because I know Watson's the number one option over there, and DK's split with Tyler Lockett all the time. So that's understandable.
When we're talking about the Broncos, they gave up 31 to Zach Wilson and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zach Wilson and Jordan Love, even if Jordan Love is being at his absolute worst, which is what Zach thinks he is, he could still put up probably the same numbers that Zach Wilson did.
That's true.
This is true. They gave up 28 to the Bears when they were still trying to figure it out, 70 to the Dolphins, 35 to the Commanders, who do not have an explosive offense, per se. I feel comfortable playing pretty much everybody this week against the Broncos. On the flip side, where are you at with the Broncos, man? Are you...
The only person over there that I'm going to play is Javonte Williams.
Are you playing Russell Wilson?
Fuck no.
Okay. Fair enough. If you're on a bye week situation, probably not a bad idea.
Fuck
Then again,
no. If I'm on a bye week situation, I'll put Anthony Richardson in on IR before I put that fool in.
Then again, the Packers defense is coming off of a bye, and everybody is saying that they're not what they should be. I would not be surprised.
Ooh, Mostert against the Eagles or
Gibbs. You're playing Russ against that Packers secondary. Eric Stokes is back too, Zach. I don't know if that's going to persuade you to go against it, but
back to that. I think I'm gonna go Mostert over Gibbs.
Against the Eagles?
Yeah.
I mean, well, let's get into that game here in a second. Foreman or Williams standard? I'm going Foreman still.
I still think I'm gonna go Williams.
Fair enough. Yeah. Dolphins, Eagles.
Dolphins. I'm gonna sit Tyreek. No. I'm gonna play Tyreek, and then I'm gonna play Jalen Waddle and Tua, obviously, and then Mostert. Like
that whole offense is still dynamic to you?
Yeah, no doubt. Like, let me see. I did the fucking numbers the other day, but I forgot them because I got epilepsy.
That's fair. Fair excuse.
Yeah. Who are you playing while I try and remember this real quick?
I think Chase Claypool could actually be a play, but I'm kidding. No, I think you kind of said it. Like, you have to play the big four in Miami. Besides that, probably staying away from everybody else. I mean, while you look that up, though, on the Eagle side of the ball, DeAndre Swift continues to be a RB1 for a lot of people. Jalen Hurts is an obvious play as one of the big five. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, though, that's the big question mark because we don't know which week they're going to decide to give each other the ball. And unless you go back to the week that they had against the Commanders, not everybody can fucking eat for some reason over there. So, and they lost to the fucking Jets.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, but
So
yeah.
we'll see what happens with this team. However, with Julio Jones being there, they might try to force him the ball too. And that's somebody you should look to pick up just in case, because injuries do happen. Not that I'm saying that they're going to. Um, but if I have Devontae Smith, I'm very, very worried about my production that I'm going to get week to week now.
Yeah.
Whereas I shouldn't have been. So.
Yeah, that's what it was. Brees put up over 90 yards on them all purpose on Philly. And
Brees is a dog.
I know not everybody is as good as Brees, but at the same time, I'm still going to play Mostert because I know Mostert can pass catch like that.
Fair. This is fair.
And if they have red zone work, Mostert's going to be the number one right there.
Unless they decide to run Tua, which would be the stupidest thing you could possibly do.
He's going to throw up gang sign. Xavier Howard's questionable today, so I think the Eagles could potentially have a massive day. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, let's hope.
I don't think there's any hope there. I think that they're probably going to. But I think this game's going to be a good one either way.
I mean, thankfully, we have a good Sunday night football game.
Yeah, I think you're good either way that you're playing.
100%. Moving to tomorrow's Monday night game, 49ers versus the Vikings. Sans Justin Jefferson. What do the Vikings have to offer?
Jordan Addison, I guess.
That's sadly it. I think. I guess TJ Hawkinson, but
yeah, TJ Hawkinson and Osborne. If you have them, you're obviously going to play them.
Yeah.
And if you have Madison, I guess you throw him in the mix to see what happens. Because I know in one of my leagues, Madison's my second RB, so I have to play him.
That's tough.
Yes, I know.
But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. So.
Do you play Kirk Cousins?
Oh, I don't love this game for him. But I feel like if they're going to blow it up, then this is probably the game that they're going to need him to actually show that he can do something.
Yeah.
Not to say that he hasn't thus far, but I think he's going to try to have a good game. So I'd expect a lot of throws, not a lot of running attempts by the Vikings, especially because I think they're going to be down early. But I mean that's really it. I mean, and then you go to San Francisco. I mean, Christian McCaffrey still, I guess, trying to figure it out. Debo Smith is out with a shoulder fracture, which is fun.
Jesus.
So Brandon Ayuk, once again, as I said before the season, is the guy to play.
And George Kittle.
Yeah, George Kittle starting to eat again as well, which is nice to see in a lot of aspects. But Brock Purdy, is he a start for you, Caleb?
I mean, I would start Brock Purdy. I'm not going to lie.
I would for the sheer fact that I think that they're going to throw the ball so many times, especially if Christian McCaffrey isn't 100%, because they just need to take some of that workload off of him.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I'm not starting him because I think he's a franchise quarterback or a number one overall by any means. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a solid argument.
Yeah. If y'all got any questions, make sure you throw them in the comments down below. We'll probably be here for another minute or two to wait for y'all. And see, Komet or Thomas half PPR.
Damn, you down bad. I would go Thomas over Komet.
I'd probably go Thomas as well, especially with Justin Fields being out. Probably go Thomas as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of Thomas, is Michael Thomas back?
Yeah, kind of. Michael Thomas is as back as 30-year-old Michael Thomas is going to be.
Very true. Fair enough. I could see a career resurrection, though, especially if Olave continues to be dog shit.
Yeah, I don't know why he's being so bad.
Well, I mean, part of it's because if Derek Carr would get the ball out within 3 to 4 seconds like he's supposed to, and recognize that he is not an elite quarterback with elite footwork, then I think he'd have a lot. Fields being
Yeah.
out doesn't mean much for me. Young quarterback's going to need a safety blanket. All right, so that's Nick. Got it. I don't necessarily disagree with you, AS. What I do disagree with, though, is the fact that Bears offensive line has already had struggles so far this year. And if they can't protect Justin Fields, who's maybe the most mobile quarterback in the NFL, then they're probably not going to be able to protect this guy either. So the throwing times aren't going to be there that much. I think this is kind of like a, hey, we're just kind of here to be here because we're supposed to be weak for the Bears. That being said, I'm still not playing Komet. Also because he fucked me in so many leagues last year.
I was gonna say Calvin was so high on Komet last year. And they
So
did
high.
not.
So you could be preaching to the choir, but you're asking for the wrong person to sing with you. If that makes any sense. If anybody else got a question, drop it in the comments down below quick. We'll answer that before we get off of here.
You
Yo. Any sleepers today in daily fantasy for you, Caleb?
no, not really, man. Nobody's
That-
been popping up lately.
Fair.
What about you? Who do you got?
Nobody really. Just honestly, like people we kind of talked about. That's really all I really have. Is
It's because
Is
it's
those
week
plays.
7.
yeah. I mean, we kind of know what we're getting now out of a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
But then again, like there's still some situations where we don't exactly know what we're getting, and that's kind of the question mark and where you can win money in daily fantasy.
Wandale
Robinson.
Trash ass Bills defense.
Fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
you know, Robinson, yeah. From everything I've been hearing, he should have a pretty decent game today. This is like the 8th time I've heard his name this week.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people talk about him in pretty good ways, so wouldn't be surprised if Wandale does have a big game. Wouldn't be surprised at all. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. Hope you guys have a good slate of fantasy football. If you guys have any questions, make sure you comment on this video, or I'll probably see you guys live on TikTok here in a little bit. And then if you have any other questions, drop them in the YouTube comments, and we'll answer them after we get off of here.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're out of here.
Later.